Screw the intro. As we haven't been doing intros in a minute now. Why start up again?
Playoffs. Yeah, it's playoffs anyway, so what's the purpose of the intro anyway?
Yep. We don't need an intro, especially when you had a great game last night of basketball. Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals between the Clippers and the Phoenix Suns. And wow, what a game 2 it was. What an ending it was. The Suns really, majority of this game, were in control. Not too much in control, not in a blowout in control, but they had the lead for about majority of this game. But the Clippers were close enough, always within single digits. So that's why I said it wasn't really like a blowout, anything like that, but the Suns were leading. And Paul George was struggling for majority of this game. Really struggling. And he wasn't alone because Devin Booker was struggling just as much as he was. It's just like adjustments. Game 1, both of them played great, and especially Booker. And now game 2, both of them struggled. That's credit to both defenses on opposite sides.
Yep.
However, for the Suns, well, that backup point guard that they had, filling in for the role of Chris Paul, of all people, stepped up big time for them. Cameron Payne, who's been sensational all postseason, continued last night in his best performance in the postseason. 29-9. I mean, he was spectacular. He was spectacular. He was carrying the load for them offensively. With his ability to score, I mean, he was just getting to the paint, finishing. Sorry, Zubat.
Yeah, you should apologize to that man a lot of times, man. Zubac. A lot of times. But yeah, Cameron Payne had it going. It's really extremely difficult to fill the shoes of another of your starting point guard, especially when your starting point guard is arguably the greatest pure point guard of all time. And and obviously most definitely bona fide Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. But he came up and he showed up big time from a scoring standpoint, a playmaking standpoint, and from a pure point guard standpoint, in terms of making the right reads, the right decisions, coming up with the right plays at the right time. He was doing everything for this Phoenix Suns team, to be honest.
Yes, he was. Mentioning playmaking, and that means the other guys had to make shots, and specifically those other guys came off the bench. Dario Saric and Cam Johnson came up big late, I mean, they helped with this team. Obviously, mentioned Devin Booker struggled, but they came in and they stepped up coming off the bench, and they hit some big shots.
Yes. It's rare. Look, you say it all the time, right? It's kind of hard for you to win a game when your best player isn't on the best time. But the thing is, people what you do mention, but others would not mention, is the fact they could get away with having a bad game when the rest of the team is having a good to great game.
Yes.
And that's how it was usually. We know about Dario Saric. We know how he could do in terms of scoring. We've seen him in Philadelphia, even though people might forget that. Hey, just remember, he was balling out in Philly at one point, and he brought his scoring talents here. And you can see he's a valuable piece for this offensive Suns team, because that's what they are, all offense. They got some defense here and there, but they're all offense. And he came up big. Cam Johnson is just a shooter, a pure shooter. So I'm really not really surprised at the fact that he had the hot hand when the team needed him the most.
Yeah. But
right?
No, I'm good. But speaking of hot hand, late Clippers needed someone, and surprisingly, that someone was Luke Kennard. Because Luke Kennard had the hot hand.
Luke from Duke.
And he helped this team get back into the game, stepping up big time for them. They needed that. Reggie Jackson played great as well, as he's been doing all postseason, being their second best player that they have. Beverly hit a big three late down the stretch, and the Suns were up. They were up by 2, and this is how that final sequence went in that fourth quarter. I'm not gonna talk about the replays because it was just so many fucking replays. But the Suns were up by 1, actually. Yes, Suns was up by 1.
Yeah.
And finally, PG starts coming alive. He hits 2 free throws, gives them the lead.
And audience, pay attention to that. He hits 2 free throws. Pay attention to the sequence of Paul George connecting with free throws, okay?
Okay, he made his 2 free throws. Actually, my mistake. They were down by 3. He hits 2 free throws. Now they're down by 1. All right? So they get a turnover. They get Devin Booker hits an offensive foul. Paul George scores. And now they up by 1. Devin Booker scores.
By 1.
Now the Suns are up by 1, and then Paul George comes back
with a broken nose.
With a broken nose, because your pops want to hurt him. But Devin Booker comes. Paul George comes back, hits another shot, gets the lead. Paul George scored 6 straight points down the stretch for them, and it is unfortunate that nobody wouldn't be talking about that because he scored 6 straight points.
Right.
But like I said, it hurts me because nobody will be talking about that, and as probably rightfully so. Because when they did get a stop, they get the ball, Paul George, and he gets fouled. They're up by 1, and Paul George misses 2 free throws.
He pulls a Nick Anderson.
No, he didn't miss 4. He didn't miss 4.
No. Okay, he pulled half of a Nick Anderson. He pulled half of a Nick Anderson. There we go.
He just choked on the free throw line. That's all it is. Not a Nick Anderson.
Choke is still the same thing what Nick did back then.
That's one of a kind, though. That was one of a kind.
Okay, that was one of a kind. But still, just like what you said, he choked and he pulled a half of a Nick Anderson. Okay.
Anyway, yes, Paul George missed both free throws. Hurt watching. Because
and it's crazy. Yeah, go on.
I was just saying, I was rooting for him. I wanted him to go out and score, and he just made 6 straight shots, or he just scored 6 straight points for them. Especially, and we talk about what superstars do, and they come alive late, and he was doing that, and then he missed both free throws on the line.
Yeah, but the thing is, you kind of, I'm not saying you expect him to miss, because don't forget, prior to that, he did hit some big free throws, but you can hear that he was having a free throw shooting woe.
Sorry, repeat that.
I need that light. He was having that free throw shooting woe for most of the game, in which he missed some free throws within the game, but sometimes it'd be like that, like, certain players, they miss free throws in certain moments, but when it's time to hit them, they will hit them. And again, Paul George is one of those people who hits them when it's time to hit them, but yet sometimes the rare thing happens in which they don't end up falling in for you, and that's what happened for PG. They just didn't fall in, and you can see the frustration the moment he missed it.
Yep. And on the opposite side, the Suns get the ball back. They call timeout. They get a good look, but Mikal Bridges, he ends up missing. The ball goes out, and it's 0.8 seconds left. I have a replay review. I'm not gonna get into it. They just try to review to see who was off. That replay view led
Yeah.
to Monty Williams drawing up a play, getting up something to get a play up to get a shot or whatever, a lob or whatever. And well, that play came in handy. But you can have the play, you gotta have players execute it. And they get inbound the ball. Devin Booker sets a back screen right on Zubac, which frees up DeAndre Ayton cutting to the basket. Jay Crowder throws it up to him with a perfect pass. And DeAndre Ayton catches it and slams it for the game winner go-ahead bucket. Clippers wanted a offensive interference, but on an inbound, it can't be offensive interference because it's not a shot.
It's a live ball.
I remember the same thing happened, coincidentally, in Phoenix a few years ago with Tyson Chandler. And it was like the ball was like right above the rim, and he just grabbed it and dunked it. And it was the game. That was the game winner.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's offensive interference. No, it's not offensive interference. It wasn't a shot. It's a live ball, as Mark Jackson was explaining.
Yeah.
So
because,
it's funny.
Yeah.
That was in Phoenix.
It's crazy because
Phoenix.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? Because you can argue that call, but you're right. It's not a shot. Just like how it is. Anything that's happened when an inbound situation is occurring, it's a live ball. It has nothing to do with it. So let's just say if something dumb happened, like you were inbounding the ball and you threw it up like that, trying to get a lob, and then you accidentally make it into the basket. Of course, it's not going to count because it's not a shot. Nothing like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is a live ball when you're inbounding. It's free. It can go any kind of way. And just a great. And let's talk about Ayton though. Ayton had a great game too. Let's be honest. He had a really good game. And you want to talk about his potential? Well, we talked about how he's been showing up for the playoffs. He's been showing his future peak in the playoffs, and that's what he did. And this is just adding on to one of the memorable moments. What a beautiful play ran up by the Suns. Like, I felt like the Clippers, their defense was good up until that point, until the Suns' offensive execution really worked better in their favor than the Clippers defense did at that point. Beautiful way to freeze up Ayton and cut into the basket. We know he has really good hands, and he was able to flush it right down. Because also, don't forget, Zubac, on that play, he fell. I believe he fell a little bit, and then he did not fall, but he tripped a little bit, and he was trying to recover, but it was just too late.
Well, that's credit also to Devin Booker's screen.
Yeah.
And I mean, not a lot of star players are going to do that. Let's just say that. Not a lot of star players, best players on the team, are willing to do something like that, to free up a guy for the game winner like that, to set a screen alone. So that just shows you the player that he is and the mentality that he is. He wants to win. He's ready to win. He's going to win at all costs. And that trusting the coach, trusting his players and teammates, setting the screen. He did his part. Jay Crowder, an amazing pass. I mean, you have DeMarcus Cousins guarding the inbound ball, so you got to get it over him, all 7 foot of him. I mean, the angle in which he is, it could have easily hit the side of the backboard. Also, you can't go it too far, otherwise it's gonna go over over Ayton. Can't go too low, otherwise it's gonna hit the rim. Yeah. I mean, that was a picture perfect pass. That even if I think that if she tried to do that again, he wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. That was just I wouldn't say it was a miracle play, but it was it's a rare play. It's a rare play. You wouldn't see that often. Or you would see that often. You just don't know with all the situations that you described right there, would it really come to fruition that really happened? Because everything has to be on timing and perfect in order to go through. And that's what happened for the Phoenix Suns at that point right there.
Yep. The Phoenix Suns steal the game. After they look like the Clippers stole the game. But yeah, disappointing loss for the Clippers.
Yeah, man. And that's what I wanted to say, because this kind of been a perfect opportunity. You can steal a game on the road, head into the Staples Center, and get that opportunity to try to, either take lead of this series and stuff. And, hopefully, because we don't know, because I guess the Kawhi status is kind of weird right now in the NBA world, so I don't even really know what to say. But this could have been a good momentum for them, but fortunately in their case, because they've been down 2-0 as of this recent playoff run. Not saying that it's a pattern or coincidental situation or whatsoever, but now they just got to get it back on their home floor at this point.
Yep. Like they've done past 2 series, they got to get these wins back. After losing in their first game 1 and game 2. Unfortunate PG, because I already know that's all it's gonna be talked about. It's him and people just sitting by waiting like lames. I mean, he's had like 6 straight great games. Not even good, great games. And now he scored 6 straight points for them, but nobody's gonna talk about that. Because when you needed to make free throws, you missed.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing, because you know how, as of recently, we always talk about Giannis and Ben Simmons, right? Crowning them because, of course, they can't make their free throws, or they have a really hard time making their free throws. Well, people don't talk about the opposite side of the coin, right? Good free throw shooters, and how there's times like this where they have situations in which it will not fall in for them at all. And when it comes down to big moments like these, how there's been some history of players that haven't been able to make free throws when it's all said and done. I think a prime example that first comes to my mind, based on the things I had learned about the NBA in my past, in the past time before I was ever in existence, is Karl Malone. Don't forget, Karl Malone missed some crucial free throws in important moments in his career. And you can see, so this is not just a thing. These are good free throw shooters who just happen to not come a big bubble. Don't forget the bubble. Damian Lillard, even though it wasn't no playoff situation, that game against the Clippers, he missed his free throws. You know what I mean? And Dirk Nowitzki, 06, missed a couple of free throws that kind of potentially gave them a 3-0 lead.
And,
it's
and
so
Dirk
much.
Doesn't miss free throws.
Exactly. It's so much. There's so much things that you could bring up, which is the opposite side of the coin of really good free throw shooter not coming up when you need them.
Yep. Sometimes things like this happen. Unfortunately, it had to happen to Paul George, who looked like he was in rhythm, but this game, he probably wants to forget this game and prepare for game 3. But that's what they got to do, prepare for game 3 and bounce back, because the Suns get this win off of the Ayton lob dunk game winner, and now up 2-0. And on a current 9-game playoff win streak, going back all the way to the first round. Impressive.
Respect that.
Impressive. It's very impressive. You definitely gotta respect it. All right, before we go into our what you got something to say?
I guess it's the bubble all over again for them, huh?
For who, the Clippers?
Not for the Suns.
Oh yeah. Just going back to the bubble. The bubble's their playoffs, so now it's just back to form.
Exactly.
All right. Before we go into predictions and for the Eastern Conference Finals, there was did you see the draft lottery?
No, I didn't focus on the draft lottery at all.
Didn't focus on it. Well, do you know who has the number 1 pick?
I could tell you it's not Golden State.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Got to be Detroit. Is it Detroit?
It is Detroit. Detroit Pistons.
I expected it because they need some picks. They need that first pick.
Yeah,
no
they
disrespect
do.
Sadiq Bey. No disrespect to Sadiq Bey.
No. You disrespect Sadiq Bey. You should disrespect. I'm telling you, that kid is nice. He's nice.
I never said he was trash.
I know you didn't, but Sadiq Bey, that's you.
Nah, because that got to be embarrassing for Tatum and them though.
He's gonna watch him be a star in this league. Watch him be a star.
Okay,
in this league.
He could be a star. He's not gonna be better than Tatum. We all know this. Come on now.
How you know?
One light word of my mother, he's not gonna be better than Tatum or Brown. Do not do that. Come on now.
It don't matter about that though. What if he's winning? What if he wins chip and they don't?
Not in Detroit, he will.
Well, yeah, I never said that. Yeah, but anyway, Pistons get the first pick. Maybe they can use this. I believe who's the
I don't even know who the second.
I think no, not second. Who was the projected number one pick? Kay Cunningham?
Yeah, Kate Cunningham, yes.
Yeah, Kay
Point guard
Cunningham.
at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State.
So yeah, he's projected number one pick. Maybe they'll go after him. We'll see. But hopefully he can use this to turn their luck aside because Detroit hasn't been Detroit since Chauncey Billups been there. So actually, Ben Wallace been there. I'll respectfully say since Ben Wallace has been there. Rockets get the number 2 pick. Cavs get the number 3 pick. Raptors get the 4th pick. Magic get the 5th pick. Thunder get the 6th pick. Warriors get the 7th pick. Magic get the 8th pick. The Kings get the 9th pick. Pelicans get the 10th. Hornets get the 11th. Spurs get the 12th. Pacers get the 13th. And the Warriors get the 14th.
Picks for them. Congratulations.
Yeah, Warriors got 2 picks in the top 15. Out of all these, I mean, the Raptors not that far off, and they get the 4th pick, to be honest with you, after one bad year, after almost a decade, and they get the 4th pick. That's really good for them.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'm looking at that Houston situation too. I'm just saying, like, again, say what you want about that 20-game losing streak. This is still a really good, talented team.
Talented.
Have a lot of talent.
I wouldn't say good, but talented, yes.
Yeah, okay, not good, but talented team. They still got a vet in a legend in John Wall. They got Christian Wood, who's a rising star. Mm-hmm. Eric Gordon is going to be coming back this season. Like, for them to have the 2nd pick, and you talk about Kevin Porter Jr., Jay Sean Tate, this is and Kelly Olynyk. this is
crazy. I don't know what happened. He went to Houston and just said, "I'm the star."
Yeah, but for them to have the 2nd pick, you got to be. They might have felt bad, but hey, you got to be kind of shocked a little bit. This is going to be kind of scary a little bit, if anything.
Yep. Also, the Warriors. I mean, they got 2 picks in the top 15, and if there was no playing, they would have been in the playoffs. So you gotta love that. Gotta love that if you go to State fan. Also, the Thunder getting the 6th pick. I mean, just one out of their 40 picks that they got in the next 20 years. So, I mean, it's just a step. It's just the next step, to build in their next. Yeah. These draft picks, they can build a team, an entire 15-man roster. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that's just the draft lottery. Wanted to go over it. Not going too in depth about who's gonna do it. They should draft and all that because we don't know enough about college basketball to say that. But we do know enough about the NBA professional, and do know enough about these 2 teams that we're about to go over. The Eastern Conference Finals will start tonight, and there's 2 teams that we did not envision getting here: the Atlanta Hawks and the Milwaukee Bucks. Shall I let you start first about this preview?
Yeah, sure. Look, Atlanta has really shocked me to a point is like, where I cave in. I could have them not win the series, but I feel like there's going to be more of a battle than I ever think, to be honest. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about why, right?
Mm-hmm.
They showed up on both ends of the floor this whole playoffs. Their star player, Trae Young, is coming up big. But here's my thing in which I feel like looking at this preview and whatsoever and things like that, this is why I look at with the Hawks. Their shooting is really elite. Really elite. And when you talk about this Bucks team who got pure shooters themselves also, it's just like this could turn into like what you call a Southern Midwest shootout with the way it may go. And again, let's just talk about it. Trae Young,
Mm-hmm.
Bogdanovich,
Mm-hmm.
Gallinari,
Mm-hmm.
Herder.
Mm-hmm.
And if he wasn't injured, if these two wasn't injured, it will be what's his name? Reddish and
Herder. I mean Hunter.
Hunter.
Yeah, DeAndre Hunter.
That's 7 players already. I think I just named like 4 to 7 players I just named right there. Shooters, and then you got the fact again, Trae Young, superstar. Well, rising superstar. Sorry, let me backtrack that. Rising superstar, who could find ways to put you in the right position, make the right plays. Him and Clint Capella's connection is amazing. You talk about the rise of John Collins right now. He's fine. We kept talking about how good he is and his potential and when we're going to eventually see it. And we're seeing it now. He showed up big. He even shaded Embiid in a way. But
no, not in a way.
Yeah.
He did. When you wear a shirt, if you put him in a chokehold after you dunked on him, yeah, that's that. Come on, say how it is.
Yeah, it is. But I think the surprising aspect is the defensive aspect. We know about Clint Capella, and we know what he's capable of doing. But I never really expected this Hawks team to show much. But then I forgot who their coach is. Nick McMillan, he's a playoff coach, but he's also a defensive-minded coach too. And don't forget, if you know about him, he used to be a player back then, and his mantra was defense. That was his strong suit in his playing career, defense. And he has basically took his defensive ability and he has enabled it into his coach. And I think that's what's helping out this Hawks team. The team defense is amazing, and that's why I say that if they continue with it, that's what could help them within this series. But then you gotta look at the Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
And I already said it. They already got their pure shooters, but their connection, their continuity, they've been the majority have been together. Well, most of them been together except for one play for a good amount of time now.
Two. PJ and Drew Holiday.
Yeah, PJ and Drew Holiday, except for those two.
But they fit in perfectly.
So much. And who knows the big separator? A man from Greece. A man from Greece. This is an inexperienced team versus an experienced team. Most of these players have been in big time playoff situations before. And no disrespect to Trae Young, as talented as he is, he ain't no Giannis. That's the big separator. So you talk about the 3-ball, you talk about defense, you talk about connection as a team on both ends, and you talk about experience. I got the Bucks in 6.
What a great, almost, dare I say, picture perfect analysis of this series. We went over everything. You went over everything.
I'm sorry.
That was really no. Don't be sorry. That was really good. Really, really good. And yeah, you're right. You know, that's very compelling. That was very compelling. And I could almost agree with you. Almost. You know, I've been thinking about the series a lot. I've been thinking about these teams a lot.
Yeah.
You know, the Atlanta Hawks have surprised me all season, to be honest. Surprised me when they beat the Knicks. Not that they beat the Knicks. Even though I picked the Knicks, I talked about it. This could easily go either way. It's the way how they beat the Knicks, especially defensively, and shutting down 3-point shooters on the Knicks and shutting down Randall.
Mm-hmm.
Then going up against Philly. I surprised everybody. With the way they played. They came back back-to-back games, 18-26. Won 3 games on Philly's home floor. I have seen little to. I have not seen that many problems with the Hawks. I mean, sometimes maybe the problem is sometimes they get into a hole where like the other teams just go crazy. I've seen it with the Knicks in that game 2, and I've seen it with the 76ers in game 5. But I've also seen them come back and be able to answer that and be able to combat that.
Yeah.
And Nate McMillan has done an amazing job. And so what I'm really getting into is I've doubted this Hawks team too much and for too long. So what I'm saying is that I have the Hawks winning this series in 7.
Hot take.
I know I'm in the small minority. I know I might be foolish. You know, I know this can be seen as a hot take. But they're here for a reason.
Hey man. To be honest, I like the fact that you did that. I don't disagree with you at all with everything you just said, man. Even with your pick, I don't disagree with you.
I mean, you do disagree with me, but you don't disagree with me. I understand what you're saying. Because you have the Bucks.
Basically. Yeah.
And when I look at the Bucks, of course they're a better team. The Sixers were a better team.
Yeah.
Of course they have the better players. Sixers have the better players. When I look at this Bucks team, my problem has never been with the players. My problem has been with the coaching. Mike Budenholzer. Is he a terrible coach? If he was a terrible coach, he wouldn't be in this situation. He's not a terrible coach. Yeah. Not a bad coach whatsoever. Not even a decent coach. He's a great regular season coach and a good playoff coach. However, with his coaching, I don't feel like he's maximizing the Bucks' potential. If he was, honestly, they could have beat the Nets in 6.
Yeah.
If he really was. I see him make adjustments and make changes when there's no need to be a change. No need to be adjusted. I mean, I've seen the game plan. You go to Giannis in the post, and then and he scores like 6 straight buckets, and the next possession, he's at the top of the key, driving the paint, and it's a charge. I've seen that so many times. I've seen sometimes Brook Lopez dominating the low post, and then other possessions, he's 40 feet away from the basket.
Yeah.
And they don't get anything out of that possession. I've seen sometimes with Drew Holiday and Middleton is one-on-oneing, and that's why they struggled a lot in getting the Nets series when they shouldn't be one-on-oneing. Everybody likes to go at the players a lot, but that's coaching, in my opinion. When you have inconsistencies like this and not really sticking to your game plan that has been working, when you change it too much and when you adjust it too much, it leads to the Nets coming back from down 17 in game 5. You know, it leads them to almost losing that Nets series, which they should have won, like I said, in 6 if it was the right coaching. As Charles Barkley said, he believes they got to win the championship, but he said they're the dumbest team. And even before he even said that, I can see like, why do they play like this? I can see what money meant even before he didn't have to say that for me because I already saw it. They play so inconsistent sometimes. At times, they adjust so many times when they don't need to. That's on coaching. Mike Budenholzer, I don't think it maximizes their potential. Now, why are they in this position? Like I said, he is a good playoff coach. He does have good game plans if he would just stick to it. Sometimes he changes too much. And they also have great players. That is what really has gotten to this position is their players. Because their one-on-one, and sometimes it upsets me, but Middleton is a great one-on-one player, so he can score on these possessions. Giannis is Giannis. So we know what he can do. So it doesn't. So I understand why they're in this situation, but I don't think that he maximizes their potential enough to beat this Hawks team.
Yeah. Okay, I can hear what you. I understand what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, and I feel like you're right in that standpoint, in which that could shoot. That could be a thing that could shoot the Bucks in the foot. Changing when there's no need to be changes happening.
Also, the
and the fact that you
from three.
Yeah, the inconsistency from three, yes, because they do well. Like a lot of teams, you live by the three, die by the three, and that's.
I haven't heard about Brent Forbes since round one.
Yeah, very inconsistent from deep. But yeah. But and here's one thing, you're right, that could shoot them in the foot in terms of making changes when there's no need to make changes in the three ball inconsistency, and the fact that you have one player who's a really good shooter who's great in a one-on-one situation. Come off the dribble. That is Middleton. I feel like Jrue Holiday is a one-on-one player, but not from an aspect of shooting, from an aspect of attacking.
Yes.
Or being in the mid-range area.
Mm-hmm.
Not the deep ball. So yes, but the thing is, again, Nate McMillan, who's a really good playoff coach, he's been in these situations before. He has helped made teams see their full potential in situations. We saw what he did with Oladipo on them. They took Braun to 7 when Braun had nobody.
Yeah.
And we know what happened in the next round, but we're not gonna bring that back up. But yes, we've seen those guys take Braun to 7 with nobody, and so you can see how much his coaching did. But the thing is, as much as this Hawks team has gained confidence, they don't have no experience. And that's the reason why I feel like they could get exposed from that way, no matter what the coaching is. Like, they can stick to the game plan, but these teams that are really good, when you have no experience, sometimes you do need to get thrown into the fire in order for the confidence to go. Yes, obviously, and the Hawks have shown that. But I think this is here where they have not met their true match. And it will be a disappointment, an embarrassing disappointment, if the Bucks really makes this Hawks team just run right through them like it's nothing.
Well, I don't think they are. That's why I picked the Hawks at 7. However, you say that they don't have experience. Maybe as a whole they don't, but Nate McMillan's a playoff head coach. He's been here before. He has experience. So the head coach has experience. That's big. Also has experience.
Yeah.
Lou Williams has experience. Gallinari has experience. Clint Capella, a lot of people might forget, he was in the Western Conference Finals with the Rockets with Chris Paul and James Harden. It was one win away from going to the finals, beating that Warriors team, KD-led Warriors team. He has experience.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So those are 3 key players and a head coach that has experience. I think that can get them over. I really do. Plus, they're here now.
yes, they are. Okay, I see where you're going. I respect it. I respect it. I like to pick this stuff. I respect it. But hey, just what they said. You gotta watch the game.
You gotta watch the game. But that's right, you heard me. I got the Hawks going to the East Conference Finals. They're already here. Going to the NBA Finals. Who's that? Oh, it's Capella. Okay. That's right. I got the Hawks going to the NBA Finals. The NBA Finals. Haven't been there since
58.
Oh, how many
Since
years
the
is that?
half a century.
Oh yeah, that long. I got them going there. I believe in the Hawks. They made me believe.
So I guess with this, Trae Young is better than Luka.
It doesn't matter. Trae Young could be Finals MVP. He's not better. He's not better than Luka. Trae Young could be Finals MVP. He's not better than Luka.
Let me tell you something. Those interviewing mad casuals, they better stay away from that argument. They will get dusted. They will get dusted. Trust and believe.
But it should be an interesting series. I have trust in this Hawks team. I believe they can do it in 7. He also just paying me because that means that Giannis is not going to make it to the finals. But oh well. Get a new coach and maybe figure out. But yeah, I got the Hawks. Ja has the Bucks. And we'll see what happens for this series. But let's talk about game 1, which is tonight's 8:30 TNT in Milwaukee. Who do you have in game 1?
Bucks.
Hawks.
Got the Bucks.
Hawks. Come on, Trey.
You got it.
All right. Yeah, I know I might hot takes, but we're not gonna take risks and why we're here,
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather see a Hawks versus whoever comes out the Western Conference in the finals. To be honest,
well, yeah,
I feel like that would be more entertaining.
Yeah, because you hate Giannis.
Yeah,
that's
I
why.
feel like
that's why.
No, it's not even that. I feel like it would be just more entertaining than watching the Bucks. In my opinion, no disrespect to that team. But hey, I got them going to the finals, so I'm going to stick with them. But I'm just saying it'll be more entertainment, especially offensively, seeing them go against any team that come out the West in the finals, if they make it to the finals.
You don't like Giannis running and dunking? I mean, I got them here.
But let's be honest, that don't take no skill at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, eventually that game plan has to be stopped.
Yeah, right. That's why the Nets beat them.
All right, good night.
It's not like Giannis had 20 in that game. He had 40. Come on, it's not like Giannis has been playing great now. I still expect him to play great, but I just have him losing.
Yeah.
All right. Time to wrap things up, John. Final thoughts.
Can't this postseason get more crazy and crazier? We talking about teams, the players that's in it, stuff like that. It's just crazy, just to think about it still.
Yep, it is crazy. It is absolutely wild, and I love it. That's why I'm here. I love the unpredictability about it. I love the madness of it. I mean, there's no Kevin Durant. There's no LeBron. Steph Curry didn't even make it here.
Yeah.
Harden's out. Kyrie's out.
Yeah.
Obviously, the injuries played a part, but Dame's out. Luka's out. Butler's out. Embiid, Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is wild. This is wild.
Yep.
I mean, what are the top five players do we have now currently? It's just Giannis. I mean, you would count Kawhi, but he's hurt.
It's just Giannis. It's just Giannis. It's just Giannis.
I mean, it's amazing. I love it. Playoff basketball. All right. That all being said, thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure you turn into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, support the channel, give us feedback, all that good stuff.
And also follow our IG and our TikTok down in the description below.
Yes, and of course, once again, I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
And this was the Mind of Basketball podcast.
I said Western. NBA Conference Finals edition.
That's conference finals, playoffs edition.